If you are seeking a huge amount, one will have to go for all these large institutions, like the bigger banks that we have. But if it's just a small amount, all these microfinance institutions, they may be able to help one out. But basically, when we are talking traditional funding, the system as it is practiced in Nigeria is that you seek loan. But in the process of doing that, there are some conventional terms. And we also call it the 4 Cs. I think one of them is the character, the other one is the collateral, another is the character, then the capacity. Based on this, one can seek a loan and it will be granted, provided the viability of the project is evaluated. So basically funding in Nigeria, as it is, the traditional funding is low. And that could be a bigger or a smaller one, depending on the size of the business or the size of the institution that would provide enough for what we really want.
Okay. Another thing to also look at is the size of the business, the size of the loan, like you said, and then the interest rates to be paid at the end of the day. Mr. Akinlabi is having some problems with audio. We also are not hearing very clearly. And so the engineers have asked us to take a quick break, and let's see how we can fix that. Please stay with us.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
He suffered equally confessed.
Now 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
All right, it's still Today with John and Helen, and we're still on with Mr. Akinlabi, all the way from Ogun State, and we're having some technical issues, but we're working through it. My next question, most people in the back end of the entertainment industry are relatively small players. So, if someone, for example, like my very good friend here, John, who is an entertainment, is in this business, wants to start up. Now, he operates mostly from or with his phone and is getting bold enough to want to go out and source for some level of fundings. What are the options that are available to him, sir?
Thank you very much. Fortunately, we have been practicing that in the past 25 years. So I will be talking from experience that should one wants to seek funding in Nigeria in whichever way, one should be thinking of his or a personal investment first. Wow. It is better for one not to go a borrowing, not to seek any loan or debenture. If possible, ensure that you have enough in your coffers before one goes into entertainment business, because there are so many appurtenances. And in the process, one cannot predict what will come up. So the first thing should be one's personal investment when starting an entertainment business. Okay. The second one may be grants from the government, subsidies as it could come, the way we've been seeing in the recent time. And I think one of these administrations have really tried to give some grants and subsidize heavily to some segments of the entertainment industry. Of course, it was applauded. Then another means could be bank loans, as we mentioned earlier. Bank loans, it could be small, it could be big. It's one of those ways that one can get himself or herself extricated from whatever financial corner that the adverse situation in the country may want to put one, if one really want to actualize what he or she has visualized. Another thing may be the venture, capital, savings, some funds from taxes and donations. In fact, it could be crowdfunding. And by crowdfunding, I mean coming to set up a means by which viewers could be subscribing to whatever one is doing. It could be through short quote, it could be through any other subscription, it could be through votings. When revenue come in through that, it will really help someone like Helen or John, who is the startup. Okay. So especially when one starts, and it will require that people vote in, that people subscribe, that they donate, it will be of help. So in summary, your personal investment is the best. Then we will be seeking government grants and be thinking about subsidy, then loan and crowdfunding, venture capital, savings, and co like that. Those are the ways to get one out of whatever financial quagmire in the process of funding. Yeah. And in Nigeria today, those things that I've itemized, they've been the mainstay of entertainment industry financially.
Well, Mr. Akilabi, all I can say is that you've made it sound so easy. But for me, I have a phobia. You know, whenever I hear the word loan, I take to my heels. You know? But let's even put ourselves in the shoes of the lenders. You know, what do you think? Again, going back to this virtual nature of the markets, predominantly virtual nature, you know, what would lenders hold, or what could they hold as tangible collateral, which is always there whenever you're seeking a loan?
I appreciate that, John. You see, perhaps I am talking from my own background. I have a very odd character. I don't look before I leave. I will leave first. Then when I land, because I feel within me that I belong to all constituencies. When I land, I will pick up my cudgel, fight against whoever is vitiating against me, embrace those people that are ready to welcome me. And it is the same thing I put into my business. And sincerely, do you know that it's been working? Because I've discovered that little-livered people in our environment will find it hard to survive. So when it comes to seeking loan, I am never afraid. I never shy away from it because I know that nobody is going to dash you money. If you have envisioned anything, go headlong for it. All one need to do is to ensure that, the visual aspect definitely will increase the phobia. But there are many ways one can go about it. Before a lender will issue you a loan, he or she wants to know that you have the ability to repay it. So you should have that at the back of your brain. So that's why many of them require some form of security. This security could be called the collateral, which will minimize the risk for lenders. So it helps to ensure that the borrower keeps up with financial obligation. So what we can now be thinking of is the common type of collateral that one could be playing around. For example, you want to seek the loan, and you know that definitely it will boil down to collateral. You cannot just walk down there and say, well, here I am. I am the one who owns this bow tie and my suit, and these trousers belong to me. And as such, I want to seek loan or seek. They wouldn't take one for a serious-minded person.
Absolutely.
You should be talking of real estate.
Okay.
Real estate, if possible.
Okay.
Your personal vehicles, one's paychecks, the cash or even savings account, the investment account, your jewelry. I mean, like Ellen now, I know Ellen will be having a lot of that, you know. So if you have a lot of gold there, be ready to go headlong into business. They will accept it as collateral.
Okay.
Thank
If you
you.
have cash, if you have stocks, all of those things could be helpful.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Akinlabi. Sorry, we have to.
This is definitely a very huge area.
Yes, it
and
is.
I'm sure we will come back and do a much more detailed analysis and a question and answer session on this because it's very important. Apart from the big entertainment people, groups and individuals, there are little ones here and there who really will benefit from them. Musicians, people who have movies, sports enthusiasts and all of that, who want to make good business from the entertainment environment. We will have you back on this show again. Unfortunately, a lot of things have eaten into our time this morning, and we are unable to go through what we planned. But we like to thank you, sir. Mr. Akinlabi. Akinlabi, I can never make that mistake again, my brother.
Thank you for living up to your. Thank you for living up to your name.
Yes.
Akinlabi means born bold. Born bold.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you once again. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time and your contribution on the program today, Mr. Akinlabi. Thank you.
So, thanks for staying with us. We'll be right back with our next guest.
Don't go away.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Welcome to The Breakfast.
A breakfast where we unbundle top and big stories of the day.
Is vaccine the only way out of this pandemic?
No, definitely not.
Many Ghanaians just want a peaceful election and they are hoping there will be no rigging.
There is nothing bad in borrowing for infrastructure. The minister added that he was impressed.
Please come and see yourself what we are doing with the money we have borrowed.
It's very important. The way we brand ourselves is the way people will carry us.
It's just the driver of the two vehicles that were completely burned. This one was here screaming.
What do you recommend the government do to support this sector?
Direct intervention, that's what every government all over the world has done.
We are not a parallel security structure. A Moteco core is a complementary core.
What I will not encourage Christians to do is to carry dagger and follow anybody. No.
Join us on The Breakfast, 7 a.m., Monday to Friday.
for me, I wanted to change that culture. I didn't believe that until you see a white man or you see a foreigner in the kitchen before you can believe that, you know, good food is going to come out of that kitchen.
You can leverage on each other's spaces and, you know, sell. We believe in Nigeria, right? We believe that Nigeria can get better. We, the youth, are the ones that can make it better.
And my products are proudly made in Nigeria.
Made in Nigeria, showing every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. and repeats on Saturday at 8:30 a.m.
Okay, excellent conversation every Saturday on Today with John and Helen on PlusTv, PlusTvAfrica. And today I am most excited. You know, we're talking about the evolving and the thriving nature of the entertainment industry. And we have next joining us, not someone who is there. He said to me, I'm on my way. And indeed, this business is thriving and paying. All right? Okay, and I'll take his word to the bank, John. So joining us right now to discuss the thriving sector of the economy is Chewy Chu. He's head of content partnerships at Pulse Nigeria. He is a media personality who began his career as a presenter and producer for Pulse Nigeria. Chewy Chu.
Chewy.
Before I bite my tongue. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you, thank you.
Good morning.
Chewy is okay. You could just
Chewy
is okay.
Okay, John.
You notice that Helen is having some difficulty chewing the name, yes?
No,
okay.
but incidentally, that name is close to where I'm from. A lot of Tiv names are as difficult to pronounce like his.
Okay.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow.
So there's a lot of chewing going on.
Tongue twisting.
That way. All right. So, well, like you said, we're talking the thriving business of entertainment. And more often these days, you know, my first question, more often these days, it's been described as a thriving industry. That's the entertainment industry. Is this an illusion, or do we need to wake up from some kind of dream or slumber?
Oh no, it's far from an illusion. Entertainment is a thriving industry. It's about time. You know, what did they say? Is it success is where luck meets opportunity, or what, you know, hard work meets opportunity?
Yes,
and the industry has been pushing for a while. We've been grinding at it and hitting at it, and you know, we're finally getting the global recognition that we deserve. We've had it in bits and pieces, you know, with the days of the Fela and the Shina Peters, but now it's really opened up. Everybody's looking at Africa and by extension, really Nigeria.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, so at this point in time, what would you consider Chewy as the key drivers for the growth in the entertainment industry?
I think
that word key.
I think the key driver really is technology. Now, it's a very broad term. So we're talking the internet, we're talking mobile phones, and again, the internet is really the primary thing. I like to be called a digital baby because that's how I started my career, right? I was trying to break into terrestrial channels, but it's kind of saturated. But through the internet, it really blew it wide open, not just for me as a media personality, for artists, for actors. I mean, Mr. Easy came up through the digital space, pushing his music through the internet.
Helen,
the gatekeepers.
you know Mr. Easy?
I do. You started today. I do know Mr. Easy.
Okay, please go ahead.
I mean, I can bring it down. I mean,
I do know Mr.
Just for her sake. Just for her sake.
Just for her sake.
Don't mind him.
I mean, even Fela now, like the new age gets to know him because of the internet.
True.
So it's a huge key driver for the growth of the industry.
Yes.
And you look at we see actors, now you pick up your phone, you shoot a skit, you show off your skill. You don't necessarily have to wait long hours in an audition line. You can show off your directing skills. Shout out to the Ikorodu boys that have just displayed creativity. And through the internet, the world gets to see them, and now we celebrate them.
Yes.
So.
And what that says is that this talent, these creative individuals have always been around with us.
Oh yeah, we've always been around.
It was just a platform to, you know, to make them more visible.
Yes. Well, what I think is that just like we celebrated industrialization in Helen's time, you know, we're celebrating technology in our time now.
Yeah.
So, well, it's our time.
It is our time.
Okay, it's the time for tech.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now, Chewy, or is it Chew?
Chewy. Chewy is fine.
Chew.
Chewy.
Now, the word thriving, let's get serious a bit. The word thriving, you know, suggests that there may still be a few hurdles, you know, to cross. You know, what do you think these will be? It's
Nigeria.
Thriving, work in progress.
Nigeria. What industry in Nigeria is not trying to thrive?
Yes.
You know, but I think the biggest hurdle in the entertainment industry, which you can really draw parallels to other industries as well, is structure. We lack structure. For example, there was a time, I have personal experiences as well, but like, typically there should be a structure where for every artist song being played on the radio, they get royalties. Your song being used in an ad, you get residual income from these things. There's ways where, because of an existing structure, you get to really reap the fruits of your labor, right? But we lack that here. Politics takes a role into these things, a negative role, by the way, because where we do have an attempt to have structure, there are personal interests that come into play, which is really the second hurdle. We are our biggest hurdles. We are our biggest problems. Like, it's sad that some people who came up in the early times where there wasn't structure, they went through the tough times. They know how bad it was. You would think when they got to positions of power, they would make it better for the upcoming entertainers. Not saying they shouldn't hustle, not saying they shouldn't try, but the barrier for entry should be a lot more lower.
Okay.
But sadly, it
So who are we waiting for to put the structure in place?
I mean, those who walked before us, ideally, should have done that. But if they're not, then
I was going to say,
the young generations,
imagine they didn't exist.
So now
what
we have,
doing about it?
What we do see is that some people really just exist in bubbles.
Yes.
Right? Some people, if there is no structure, you create a personal structure for yourself.
Yeah.
I know I do that for myself.
Absolutely.
You know, so, and which goes back to a key driver, technology, internet. You go read up these things, find what works for other countries, other markets, and tailor it to your market, not copy paste. Tailor it to your market.
And I hope our listeners are taking note here, because
you don't have to wait for anybody.
You don't have
to
to wait for anyone.
They need to
right?
jot things down.
Let's even agree. Let's imagine that the generation before yours has failed, which I'm not necessarily in agreement with.
I don't agree with you, because I know
I'm
that
not necessarily in agreement
there
with
are
that.
organizations and bodies in the various sectors of entertainment. Is it music? Is it drama? Is it sports? You know, and for a long time they were crying about the copyright issues.
Yeah.
You know, and copyright means that if you picked my content and you find it useful enough and you put it to use, you should pay me for it.
Yeah.
And there've been a lot of, sometimes they went to
always
court.
been in place. The foundation,
the
foundation has always been there.
The unions are there, but the people running those foundations haven't necessarily done a fantastic job, because they're in there for either political, they get used as political tools, or they're self-serving.
So we have to stop that.
I think it's a connecting link. I think it's a link.
One way or the other, we have to stop that.
You do.
To be able to move forward.
And it makes it more difficult for our talents in this part of the world to, just rise up, unlike those abroad. Because
it makes it difficult for more talents.
More talent.
But some people, again, the fantastic thing about the internet is that it puts a lot of gatekeepers to the side. You don't need to dobale or bow down to somebody that walked before you blow. No, that's the fantastic thing about the creative industry.
Did you hear that?
You
don't
need to have
somebody.
You know what it means to blow, John?
To ransom. You do get to choose your own destiny in the entertainment industry. It's like YouTube is there. You can host your own show. You can host your own channel. Maybe not at the scale at which you would love to, but everybody starts from somewhere.
Exactly. That's
So, yeah.
true. All right. So of course there will be still some aspects of the entertainment sector that would need help, to achieve the desired goals. I'm talking about a sector. You talked of bodies now, organizations that are not doing stuff. Let's find solutions to it.
Yep.
What should these organizations and body, what should they have done, or what should they be doing now to achieve better results?
I like to go by the saying, when you teach a man to fish, you've fed him for life versus giving him a fish.
Yeah.
I think education is just the primary key. I think the way the education system can be better. And when we say school, we think in traditional senses of school. Yes, it will take a while for us to get there. Let's just say just a little. Start teaching a little bit more arts in school. But there should also be more skill acquisition centers, right? A lot of people we have this problem in Nigeria where we're afraid to pass on knowledge because we are afraid of competition. We're afraid of this person surpassing us. And I think if we have more schools, not necessarily your regular, six
trainers and private interns,
systems. Exactly.
Internships here and there.
Internships, skill acquisition centers. I think that would help people. Again, it's the creative industry, and it's very fluid. So schools will teach you the basics. Now you pick those basics and then you forge your own path.
Yes.
I sort of kind of made a name for myself off of doing interviews on the streets. I wasn't the first to start it. A lot of people were doing it way before me. I mean, I heard Charlie Boy was doing it years before me.
Yes.
But in my time, it was a wave that has spread across Africa because, I saw something, I saw the basics of it, and then I added my twist to it and, forged my own path. So education is really I think is the base thing that we really need across the board.
And that's a key point. That's a key point that shouldn't be ignored. For me, I think a lot of the generation now are running a little faster than their legs can take them, and they tend to leave the education bit behind. Mind you, when we talk entertainment, we're not talking about just music and all of that, right? If you look at the sports arena, for instance, a lot of our younger ones are leaving education behind and hoping that the talent and sports thing would take them where they should be.
I kind of beg to differ to a degree.
Okay.
Some of us, we are being educated, but life experiences are educating us. So it may seem to the older generation that these guys are moving faster than their legs can take them, but the truth is the older generation didn't have anything for the younger generation to pull off of, right? The old education system we have does not account for the ever-changing world. I doubt they serve digital marketing as a course in universities, but digital marketing is the craze today. So it really is us drawing knowledge from the outside of the traditional educational systems. But yes, some people we are in an age of instant gratification.
Great.
You know, so I do agree with you to a degree, but at the same time, I think sometimes the younger generation are very misunderstood because of what it looks like.
Okay.
You can't, you know, if you don't understand it, then you would think differently. But I think, you know, sit with them, have a conversation, and you know, ask why.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this way? Why do you do this way?
Have a conversation with them.
Regularly, constantly having conversations.
That is
we've
very
got under 3 minutes to wrap up this segment. So Chewy, let's look at the coronavirus pandemic. You know, we can't run away from it. While so many people struggle through the challenges and the limitations in their businesses, so many quietly have seen it as a blessing, a source of blessing, because they've had to do a lot of things differently. Share your experience with us.
I don't think the coronavirus the pandemic was really any much different than any negative thing that happens to you in life. The only difference is right now is that it happened to a lot of us at the same time, right? So when your car breaks down, your mechanic makes money. It's a blessing to him, but it's a curse to you. Okay. You know, when your house burns down, the builders are celebrating. There's work to do.
It was a global
shutdown in some degrees, but like I said, it's something that happened to a lot of people at once. That's why it feels but it really is not that much different from, you know, one man's meat is another man's poison. For me, I was fortunate enough to be versatile. So as a TV host, as an events personality, I typically am out there hosting events, but because of the shutdown, I had to be at home.
Yeah.
But I'm also a producer, I'm also a strategist, a content creator. So I was still working with businesses behind the scenes, helping them craft their communications and create content for them. So that versatility helped me stay in play.
We could take lessons from him, you know.
Lessons, it will be lessons on versatility.
Yeah.
Because
and the new age lessons.
What I've seen is that you haven't allowed, as a matter of fact, it's like you've downplayed the effect of the pandemic.
And
I think it's putting things into perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the spirit. That's the spirit.
We're almost letting him go.
No.
But there's something
He's
on
not
your
leaving
head.
yet.
There's something, you know. You said that's your brand.
The crown. Yeah.
The crown.
It started as a play. The original one, my mom stole it from my uncle, and she just dropped it. I didn't know what it was, and I put it on my head. And I used to go to work, and people were like, "This is stupid." But then I just started moving around on the streets, doing my street interviews that everybody loved, and then it became a thing. I was just having fun, and you know, inspiration or creativity comes from the most unlikely sources. And now, if I'm not without this, people are like, "Yo, where is your crown?" It's actually South African Zulu. It's called Ele. But yeah, it's
Are you sure it's only the people who think, or you without this probably think something is missing? These
days, sometimes it feels like something is missing.
Because there could be more to it than what your mom won and then you're wearing.
Nah, she just was like, she just stole it and didn't really think much of it.
I really like this because I'm one of those people who preaches authenticity.
Yeah.
And this has really set you out from the crowd.
We try.
And Chewy Chew, thank you so much for being with us on this program.
The Chewy Chew aspect will be another time.
Thanks for having me. Yes, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be on the show. You had McFoy here a while back.
Yes.
And, you know, that's someone I used to look up to as well. He's mentored me also from afar. So it's an honor to be sitting where he sat.
It's an honor to be having this conversation with you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I mean, believe me, you are an inspiration to me this morning. And that's the truth, really. You are an inspiration to me this morning.
Can I inspire you to send something to my bank account?
I will do that. Oh my God.
So thank you very much.
A lot of young people who have watched you this morning are geared to go for it.
Hopefully.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for coming.
Okay.
No problem.
So, Pharaoh Wotomo will be discussing investment opportunities with Derek Phillips, who's a founder and CEO, Wavis Investment Limited, and CM Entertainment Limited in a little while.
Yeah, after the break.
Stay with us.
All right. Don't go away.
It is engagement we need to have. Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the Babin, I pay my rent. From the Babin, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
Hello, welcome to Timeless Conversation. My guest today is His Royal Majesty Oba Olugbenga Gbadebo Onuga.
I chose the arts chose me. Nigeria is on a path that is going to lead to disaster if something is not done. Dimas does not believe that the African mind cannot think and accomplish the most difficult task in the world.
Timeless Conversations, airing every Sunday at 8:30 p.m.
And it's another very interesting episode on your #1 real estate show, Chatel's Real.
What is affordable housing? What is affordable to A might not be affordable to B. Everybody wants to live in Lekki.
I think Nigeria landlords, they need to come to a place where they can meet the tenants in between.
Young female that used to earn like 1M per annum before, they now do one sale and they get that 1M.
From having the best real estate deals to high property investment opportunities to exquisite interior designs to construction, security gadgets and everything home. Watch Chatel's Real on Wednesday, 1:30 p.m. and Saturday at 6:30 p.m.
Are you ready to party right from the comfort of your TV screen? The Rundown's here to save the day. From freshly baked videos to the classics to the youngins and dope conversations, all in one chart. We got you covered. Just tune in to The Rundown every Friday, 10:30 p.m. West African time. The Rundown. Let's turn it up.
There has to be a decision point. The way your baby's presenting, we have to rush you in. And my partner at the time was like, "You going to cut her? Are you going to cut her? Is it going to leave a scar?" And I said, "Am I a belly dancer? What is the problem here?"
No, I'm vulnerable about the future of the children, the future of mine and the future of the generation of my children.
I want to have nude pictures taken. Of you? Yes, but without showing my private parts. I want to put it in my front room. And they said, "You can't do that. People will be embarrassed when they came into your house." I said, "Well, it's my body and it's my front room."
All the things that we do, what is the purpose of it?
I just realized that I was more trusting before I was 6.
So many women, they just feel like I have to cook for my husband, I have to breastfeed my children, I have to pick them from school.
Because society expects
them. Then you go
to.
home and you cry and you stop your career, you can't do anything, then you blame everybody. You took that choice.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity, from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the result of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, Abi.
I am not hungry. If I need appointment, all I need to do is to start praising government.
Plus, politics will fill the polls of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows, to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let anybody come and say.
The moment we stop having charlatans occupy political offices, we will curtail hate speech.
Plus Politics, not just another political show. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
Thank you, John and Helen. Last Saturday, we looked at entertainment and our economy, and it was such an eye-opening conversation. But today, my guest, Darren Phillips, and I will be talking about functional investment opportunities in the entertainment industry. Our aim is to try and simplify investment from all aspects, from corporates to governments to individuals to the talent themselves, and to try and break it down and help us understand how we can all be a part of nation building. So thank you so much for being here, Derry. Let me officially introduce you to our viewers. Derry is CEO of investment management company Mavis Investment, and as some of you already know, he's a famous DJ, DJ Case. He's also a producer and songwriter. Derry advises our creatives on how to invest. So I'm going to give him a new title, Investment Whisperers to the Stars.
That's interesting.
So that's your new tagline.
Oh, an investment whisperer.
So let's very quickly try and chop it up and see how we can break down this whole investment opportunity spectrum. But the first thing I actually want to know is, how did you go from DJ to investment manager, or is it vice versa?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the program. I've actually been doing this for the past 10, 15 years.
Okay.
Most people don't realize, all the while I was a DJ, I was also a banker.
Wow.
And I traded fixed income. So I worked in the treasury department for all of my banking career. So I've always had these two different worlds, and it got to a point where I kept on dividing the two. So most people that knew me as DJ Case knew me as DJ Case, and most people that knew me as Darren Phillips, the banker, knew me as that. So it got to a point where during, I would say, a bit of soul searching, I then discovered that it doesn't have to be one or the other.
You can do both.
We all have genius level talent, and the more you deny people that gift, which is essentially what it is, then,
the more you deny people that gift.
Everyone has genius level talents, but
We
if
all
you
do,
focus on
actually.
just one area, you're actually not going to find it in whatever areas in my life. So be your best, do your best life, and kind of that's what I'm preaching now.
Live your best life, but work hard at it.
Yes, and be consistent.
And be consistent. So this thing, investment opportunities, I know you had mentioned to me earlier that one of the things that you do particularly is you help the talent, the artists, advise them on how to invest. Is that correct?
Yeah, so there's a process I go through. You know, first is self-discovery. What are you about? What is your love language? How do you perceive?
How
do
does
you build
love language affect investment?
Because it has to do with relationships. Investment is all about relationships. If you're going to invest in a business, you have to know how to communicate with the business owner. You have to know how to communicate with your customers. And before you can know how to communicate, you want to understand how you receive communication.
That's another genius level speech you're giving me there, because
so
that's...
it's a process. It's like you first come up with a personality assessment badge, which is what I call it. And then you have a better idea of who you are, the kind of person you are, how you react in different situations.
And then what you can invest in.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you determine what your risk appetite is. Now, that is the first one. Even when it comes to entertainment, you have to have a certain amount of idea of exactly how much time you have. How much time do you want to place this investment? How much risk are you willing to take? How much return are you expecting for that risk? And you have to balance all these things out. So I really through the process of first educating you. It's quite an in-depth education on, first of all, the psychology of money and finances.
What is the psychology of money?
No, what is your attitude towards money?
Very true.
Most people's attitude towards money is negative. And there's no positive
true.
outcome that can come from negative thinking.
Very true. It's ironic because my coach once said to me that think about money as an individual and look at your relationship with money.
Brilliant. Yes, exactly.
You know, and that was such a profound thing. So that is very true. So when we then say investment opportunity within the entertainment spectrum, people usually think about corporates, organizations, and individuals investing in the sector. Does that really happen?
Well, I think entertainment industry is very interesting because I've been fortunate enough to travel around the world, and I get to compare what it's like there. We still haven't gotten the structure in the entertainment industry right. There's a lot of attempts, a lot of conferences, a lot of discussions.
Why don't we have the structure right?
First and foremost, the royalty system, all the laws are there, but the execution is a problem. If you're going to raise money from financial institutions, they have to be a clear means of how you're going to repay back that money,
Okay.
or what your off-takers are.
Okay.
In the foreign markets, because of the data they have due to the streaming and the royalty and the fact that if a nightclub plays your music, there's a certain amount of money that goes. If a radio station plays your music,
So anywhere in the world, if a nightclub plays
they have
an
to pay
artist's
yes.
song, they have to pay royalty. I thought that was just for radio.
Nightclubs, stadiums,
Anywhere your
where
song is
music
played for commercial purpose,
yes.
as opposed
and
to for personal
anywhere your
enjoyment.
music is played and money is being made off that, there's a
You're
certain
supposed
amount
to
of
get
money you have to pay
royalties.
to the collection agencies.
So that doesn't happen properly
No,
in
it's
Nigeria?
not enforced. It's not enforced as it should be.
Wow.
So that is a major stream of income that is being denied to artists.
So that's
and
money
the
left
ripple
on the
effect,
table.
exactly, the ripple effect is the financial institutions can leverage off that, amongst other things, even the touring sector. Come back to structure. We should have a tour circuit. You know, we should have. You should know. There should be a venue in Ibadan. There should be a venue anywhere.
Ironically, Dr. Yemi was saying that the last time when we were speaking as well. You should be able to tour the whole of Nigeria like other artists do everywhere in the world.
It's a standard. If you want to promote your music in America, there are definitely places where you can go to. You know, it's a business. You know, that even speaks to the lower level of sort of the secondary market, so to speak, because then you have tour organizers who. That's all they do. They have a venue, they have a relationship with promoters, and then people come, they go around the state.
So I actually see that as a possible investment opportunity already because, and the thing is, I see it as an investment opportunity for all three sectors.
Exactly.
Government, corporates, and individuals.
Yes.
Because they can all come together to build buildings or structures in different states.
I think it'd be amazing. I think it's something that I've had several discussions about. Adu Mikori, Chocolate City, he tried very hard to do that as well. We have talked extensively about it. So it's something that it sounds very obvious, and it's something that's done all over the world. But for various reasons, we can't get it. Even put it down to it, security is also a factor we have to take into consideration.
So if you were going to advise somebody who is looking to change the status quo and be a part of the change in narrative and invest in our sector, give me 3 low-hanging fruits that they can actually do to invest.
Okay, first of all, I don't advise people on investing without having them go through the process. And the reason why is you can't apply the same formula to different people. So for instance, what I always describe is there are 4 things you have to take into consideration when you want to make any investments. There's the amount of time you have, the amount of risk you're willing to take, the amount of return you want for that risk, and then the type of investment product you want to go for.
Time, risk, return, and type.
Yeah, and the financial product. Now, the reason why this is important is because if I say music industry is fantastic, there's this new artist I think you should invest in, or if I say there's a film that's coming out, it's thriving, somebody might have the money to do it, but they don't have the time. They're like, I want this in 5 months, I want this return in 6 months. Meanwhile, a movie might take that amount to shoot alone, not talk of post-production, and all the different factors. So it's a very individual, specific, tailored product. You can't say invest in it. But if I was to give a general advice, I'll say the movie industry is definitely one that is working. Just to put it into context, I was talking about having a clear form of repayments. You know, with the cinemas, they've managed to build a good structure of cinemas in the country. So essentially, when you're releasing a movie, you know, if they play it at different cinemas, you're going to get a certain amount. And, you know, the likes of Wedding Party and other, the Kemedi team has done a great job in maximizing that space. So that's one that is good. But, you know, as I said, you have to look at the various factors that you're looking into. Music, when it comes to music, the typical formula most people go for is investing in an artist. But then that's a very risky venture because a lot of people have lost a lot of money. Yes, you know, you have to work with kind of, I think the mistake most people make when they invest in an artist is they don't look at their character, right? They look at their talent, and then talent is just one sector of it. Character, not only in repaying back the money, but then also in terms of working with other people as well. You know, it's a very relationship-driven industry, which is why I said you have to go through that personality assessment badge process to identify how you react to people. Because if you have an artist, you invest all that money, and you end up disrespecting all the key players, they end up not turning late for interviews, they end up not fulfilling that side of the bargain. It's going to affect your business. So it's a very thorough process.
It is, and my recommendation to you is you have a lot more work to do, because you sound like the right person to break it down, not just for the artist, but for the corporate organizations as well.
I think that's why you call me the investment whisperer.
Yes,
right? Is that
the investment whisperer.
I like that name. Yeah, it's this is definitely a act of passion. It's something that because I belong to both worlds.
Yes.
I understand what person A needs and what institution B requires. So trying to bridge that gap is kind of why I'm doing this. It's a lot of financial education that I'm providing. And even the other side, helping artists. It breaks my heart seeing artists who successful career, end of it, they're on social media asking for help because they're sick, and when essentially their song should be sending their kids to school.
Yeah.
Benny King sang the song "Stand By Me," and that is the song that has just one song, sent all his kids to school, set them up for life, and they're still living off it till today.
What did he do differently?
He was just in a system that worked. Because that song, anytime it's played in a movie, he gets paid. Anytime it's played in a commercial, he gets paid. Anytime it's played in any stadium, he gets paid. And this is forever. Because that is his work. It's intellectual property. So the laws do exist here, but it's just the enforcement
of the laws. Okay. So that is bigger than we can unpack. It really, really is, because it is bigger than we can unpack. But I really, really hope that things change.
Yes. I mean, we're getting a lot of attention. Big shout out to Burna Boy for winning a Grammy. We're making almost, the entertainment industry is doing things out of the air, for lack of a better word. We have the least amount of structure, the least amount of facilities, the least amount of infrastructure. And yet we're winning Grammys and we're doing great things. And, it just...
So we're winning despite, but then isn't it now our responsibility as a community to actually begin to effect change through communication and lobbying and, breaking down doors and saying,
absolutely,
listen, this is what you can do. This is how we can benefit
absolutely.
you. So
it's a constant effort. There are a lot of conferences that are happening. There are a lot of discussions that are being had.
But are they the right discussions? Are they in the right... there's no point having lots of discussions to the wrong people.
Yes,
and I think that's what is happening in the entertainment industry. A lot of the conversations being had are happening to the wrong audience, not the decision makers.
Well, I guess the Nigerian government is a special government.
But it's not just the Nigerian government; it's corporate organizations as well.
Well, okay. Let's go back to my earlier experience. We happened to open venues in different towns, right? Once you open a venue, first, security factor. Not only getting from town A to town B, prevalent, but then even when you get there, you have a situation of area boys, safe, where you go to stay, the speakers, the setup, the electricity, is it prevalent? How you go to plug the system, you have to power. So those things make the whole...
The whole ecosystem
ecosystem has to be right.
Is problematic.
Yeah, but as I've said, we made it out of nothing, essentially, and we're going to keep going. We're going to keep winning global recognition.
We will.
We're going to keep riding on the wave, not only in the film industry, but in sports and music.
Music and everything, Thank you so much, Derry.
Thank you.
It's been short, it's been sweet, and I really hope that our viewers have gotten something out of this. And I think this has been a really nice, really sweet conversation. And I can't wait to have you here again for a longer timeline. So please say yes now.
Yeah, of course I will. But I'm very accessible. You can reach me at Dr. Case. Also info@wavisinvestments.com. If you have any questions, I usually have a lot of follow-up questions in interviews.
I will put up your details on my Instagram handle as well, because I think there are lots of people who will probably want to talk to you after this so they can understand better
Sure.
and be a part of the change.
That's why I'm here. The
yeah.
investment whisperer.
Investment whisperer.
I like that.
So thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming on here today. It's been awesome. And the only thing I would say is we all need to be a part of the change. You know, the entertainment industry can change the face of Nigeria. It's not just agriculture, it's not just technology. Entertainment is a huge deal from behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. So let's all start looking at ways of investing and be part of the change in narrative. On that note, thank you so much from me. John, Helen, and myself will be back in a few seconds to wrap up today's show and tell you what we have for next week. So please stay tuned. Thank you. What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them. If you no talk, then go beat you. Now 2,500 I dey pay.
Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Welcome to your favorite program, The Moment of Truth, brought to you by the Citadel Global Community Church. Our God is a God of salvation, far above all principality and power and might and dominion, that regardless of what happens in this season, you will escape. Say to your neighbor, there is no peace for the wicked. The lazy man does not roast what he took in hunting, but diligence is a man's precious possession. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Moment of Truth with Pastor Tunde Bakare, Sundays, 7 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
So you're welcome back. Well, we've had Pharaoh with her highly cerebral and versatile guest. I must say that, again, I enjoyed the session.
I did too.
And we learned a few things. It was like wrapping up, you know, all that we said
today
ahead of him. And yeah.
All right.
Great stuff.
So we're up for your...
Yeah, up for my nugget for today.
Yes, we are.
Well, again, I just want to remind our viewers that the nugget is specially designed for those of you, and I'm sure everyone loves public speaking, right? Even if you don't love it, you'll always find yourself in situations where you have to speak publicly. So the nugget for today is, most times, the audience doesn't notice your flaws. Clean up as you go. Okay. So, the greatest distraction you can have is to be conscious of your flaws.
By flaws, you mean your mistakes as you go along?
Your perceived mistakes most of the time. Because you'll even find that most of the time, these things that you worry about never even happen.
Wow.
Will
I have a perfect example of this.
Will I trip? You want to share that? Just one example?
Everything you've just said.
Everything
all the questions I wrote down for today's
Yes.
interview. I didn't ask a single
You
one
didn't.
of them.
You didn't. And you possibly,
I asked questions
if you weren't
off the top.
experienced, you would have been so conscious of that that it would have defocused you from the program itself and destabilized you.
So you're 100%
So,
right.
which is why we say that the greatest distraction you would have is to be conscious of your flaws. Because on a scale of 10, maybe 8, right? 8 of those flaws will not happen.
Wow.
Right? So, but where they do, which is the other part of my nugget, clean up as you go, is that wherever those flaws happen, you have
Just
time.
pick up.
Yeah, you have time later on during your presentation, your show, your whatever, to tidy that up. So that's the nugget for today. And I'm sure that our viewers would love to see all these nuggets. You'll find them on @JohnSenaya on my Instagram handle. And you'll also find me on YouTube.
Okay, and that means that the show always must go on. No matter what happens, the show must
go on.
Quickly, Pharaoh, what's next week?
Not tomorrow.
No, next week I corrected myself. I picked up, I cleaned up, and I went home.
Next week, we will be looking at the last in the Entertainment in Perspective series, and next week will be success in entertainment. So we'll be looking at different elements of success in entertainment, and as usual, we'll have 3 guests here with us next week.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And we hope that you'll be a part of that show as we wrap up the series. It's been quite interesting. And
It
we
has
have
been.
learned so
It
much.
has been.
Yeah.
Yes, it
All right.
definitely has been.
So let's do this again, same time next week, Saturday, 9:15, 9:20 on PlusTV Africa. Today with John and Helen. I'm Helen Ongmaodele.
I'm John Senaya.
And I'm Pharaoh Owotomo.
Bye for now.
See you next week.
Have a lovely weekend.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
He suffered equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect am.
If you no talk, dem go beat you.
Na 2,500 they pay.
Who would have thought that the faith of Leah Sharibu would make a nation struggle for survival?
Who would have thought that a line from the Bible would be stronger than a rifle and make this girl just to die down to the night? She is the hero of faith.
face and pretend no wrong was done.
Who would have thought that no amount of darkness can quench the smallest light?